Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Chat Reality. I'm Michael,
And I'm Molly.
and we are so excited. We are honored to have the HBIC in the building with us. We have Deb Levy, aka Rachel. Deb, how are you?
I'm fantastic because I am the HBIC. I mean, come on. How can I not be fantastic, right?
Yes, yes, you are. And how has life been since the show dropped? I mean, it's been, I
Oh,
guess, what, 5, 6 weeks since it started, but it just
yeah,
ended about a week ago. So,
yeah.
how's everything been?
You know what? Really fun. I mean, I went into this not really expecting anything. I wanted to have an experience. And so for me, everything's been great. I mean, I just was in LA at the rap party and I was like, I'm in LA at a rap party. Who gets to do that at my age? Like, I just feel like anything. You want to talk to me? Oh my gosh, you're what? Why? Okay. So anyone, I'm just like, sure. I have people, and because I started off not with a very big following social media. I've still been able to like really answer people's messages to me, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're so cute, you're so sweet. So I just love it. I just love it, and I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we love watching you on this show. We'd love to hear more just about your journey and how you got on the circle. So let's start from the beginning of that.
So I gotta be honest, I'd never watched it.
Okay.
So my friend's daughter, one of my best friends, her daughter Maddie, was obsessed with the show since season one. And almost 2 years ago, because it was 2 years ago, I think January, it'll be January, there was a casting call from, she was watching it, and she and her fiance, he's her fiance now, were like, Deb would be hilarious on this. So she calls me, and anytime Maddie will call me, I'm like, oh my God, Maddie, I love you. And I was like, well, you want me to do what? Because I want you to apply. And I had never seen it. So I watched a couple of trailers, and I said, there's no old people on there. She goes, no, there are. And she told me where to look. I was like, okay, there's a couple of old people on there. And I made her FaceTime with me. The answers I gave on the online questionnaire were all honest, but insane. And she's laughing hysterically. She's like, tell him the truth. You're a whack job. Like, go ahead. So I just told him the truth. And then when we got to the end, they said there was a 1-minute video. And my casting director told me that 1-minute video is what made her call me. That was what really pushed her over the edge. I didn't want to make the video. I was like, Maddie, I don't want to make a video. She's like, just get off the phone with me and do something. So I literally took the phone and went, I'm Deb. Oh my God, I don't know. Put me on the show. And if you don't like me, I don't care. Like, whatever. For 1 minute, I just like bitched at them.
Oh my God.
And I sent it to Maddie, and she went, screw it, send it to them. And I did. And
That's not
5 months,
probable.
5 months later is when they called me. So when they called me, he's fine. I just want to let everybody know my son is fine. But he was in the hospital. He has seizures. He has epilepsy. And he's fine. But he happened to have been in the hospital at that moment. So when they called me, and I was like, what? Who? What? And they're like, well, did you apply? I went, yeah, but I can't talk. They said, can you talk tomorrow? I said, no. They said, well, when can you talk? I said, I don't know. Can you send me an email? Like, I just didn't realize, and my kid was in the hospital. So
Right.
they sent me an email, and I didn't get back to them until like 5 or 6 days later. I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, sure. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, love that story. It's great how it all worked out though in the end. And so how did you decide on choosing Rachel as your catfish profile? And was there anyone else you had maybe considered playing as?
Yes. So I thought it'd be funny to go back in time, right? I was a little cocky, I must admit, that I could go back in time and be myself as like a 26-year-old and like, really control social media. No. So I wanted it had to be someone who, when I look, because I'd watch the show and you're always looking at yourself on there. And it had to be, so, I looked like Maddie is, this like makeup girly, and her hair is always done. That's not me, right? I have a niece, Rachel, who's same thing. She always is like dressed to the nines, and her makeup is done perfectly. Like, that's not me. But I've known Rachel. Rachel's Maddie's best friend, and I watched her grow up, and she's just like, nah, I'll put on some lipstick. My hair will dry as I walk out. I was like, that's my girl. That's me. That, when I look at that every time, that profile, when I go through those pictures, that's me. No filters, no nothing. We don't do anything special. So it seemed weird for me to play someone that I couldn't see myself as. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? I don't even know
Yeah.
if that makes
And
sense.
clearly that was the right choice. That
Yeah.
worked out really well for you. And very quickly, you hit it off with Gianna and became each other's number one allies. Hashtag Rachana. However, she came in last in the first rankings and would have been blocked first if it hadn't been for the disruptor power. So, did that give you any pause at all at that point to put so much trust in her when you realized she was staying, but had been ranked last?
I was so sad that that's why I ate a salad in the bath, which becomes a whole other story because I was really sad. I was like, I screwed this up. I'm out. My one strong, and I knew that alliance was we would have each other's back. It's a Staten Island thing. Like once I knew, she never questioned. They were catfish. Once I knew she was really from Staten Island, I proved that my mom was from Staten Island. Like I knew it. I was like, we got each other. So I thought we were both done. We were out. It was over. I was really sad for the first those episodes. I'm legit. They didn't even show me. Like I actually was crying at certain points. Like I
Oh.
messed this up. I'm out. So yes, I didn't think I made a mistake making an alliance with her. I just was like, they don't like us. I don't know what happened.
Hmm. Who else did you feel closest to in those early days besides Gianna?
Um, not Kevin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That just is so funny. Savannah. I was really sad when
Hmm.
Savannah went. I was like, what? I cried when Savannah went. I was really sad because and in person, she's as darling as she is on the show. She's just, darling is the right word. She's darling.
Yeah. Well, after the Cray Pop trivia game, there seemed to be a little bit of suspicion that started around that you might be a catfish based on some of those answers. Did you suspect that at all coming out of that game? Did you think, oh my gosh, everyone thinks I'm a catfish? Or what was your plan, if so, to kind of try to combat that?
So I was like, I'm out. I was like, that's it. They're like, not keeping this person in here. Yeah. So I mean, I thought I was being kind of funny with the thirsty picture. I was trying to like, funny. Look, I'm thirsty, but apparently that's not how people took it. And then I answered all these other things wrong. I know it was ridiculous. Um, yeah. So I knew that was bad. So which is also, don't forget, you're in those apartments by yourself. You're talking to yourself. you're I got to the point where I knew if I stayed, I had to like start getting people to look at other people. And Kevin, I was convinced you could not have told me otherwise. I don't care who I might have told this to. No, they wouldn't have convinced me. I was convinced he was a 38-year-old douchey catfish guy. To the
Mm.
bitter end, till I walked into that finale, I was like, oh dear. It was
He
so
ended up being one of the only ones that wasn't a catfish in that finale.
I know. That's what killed me. I was like, wow, did I get all of this wrong? Completely wrong on
Wow.
everyone. So, yeah, I figured I was out, that there was no. And then when Gianna got the disruptor and stayed, I was like, okay, maybe I stay another one more. I was like, one more day, one more day. And I would literally sing that, like, one day more, another day, another destiny. So,
Well, that first at-risk chat, which, by the way, I loved that addition to the game that they had this season. I don't think we've ever seen that before. I don't know if they've done
that
it
was brand new
before,
to me,
but
too. I was like,
yeah. That was great. But you showed us that hashtag you are that bitch and started things out with a bang by calling out Kevin, who was the number one influencer in that round.
yep.
So what response were you hoping to get from sending that message out?
What's funny is you don't know, right? We don't know the response for real. Like we see their answers. It was fun to watch it. I actually thought the response was better against him than what actually I saw. But
Interesting.
my idea was, look, he's a catfish too. I got to get suspicion on him, and he's been number one. Like we got to get this guy. And what are people seeing in him? He voted out Savannah. I was mad, right? I was like, he voted out Savannah. So, and I was not going to go against my Staten Island girl. We don't go against each other. She got no blame in this, in my opinion. So I was like, I just got to start doing something because I got to get people mad at somebody and like wanting someone out more than like, oh, we don't know. She's boring and stupid. Let's get her out. So that was kind of, and it was making me mad that they weren't playing the game. They're like, he invited us because he's nice. I'm like, what? What they don't show you is everyone looks so young to me. So there are times when I literally yell at the screen, you're babies. You're all a bunch of babies. Like you don't have life experience. He's not being nice to you to be nice. It's strategic. Stop it. I was like, yeah, babies, grow up. I was like so annoyed. So I really was, and they don't show that. I just kept getting more and more annoyed that they were like defending him. I'm like, oh, you're just pissing me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it's fun to hear that backstory there. And then also at the end of episode 4, we see that you and Madeline become the disruptors and have to switch profiles until the end of the next blocking. So, what was running through your mind when you first heard that news, and did it end up being harder or easier than you expected?
Yeah. First of all, like I knew the first 2 disruptors had been good. Okay. So I kind of knew the next one's going to be bad. I mean, that there was no doubt in my mind, but again, I still was not feeling all that secure. It's not till after this stage that I started to feel like I might last a little longer. At this point, I'm definitely not feeling secure. So I knew it was going to be a bad thing. And then when they said I was switching with men, I'm like, oh no. Like and I knew as soon as they said that, I was like, this can't be good. Something like this is, and when what was great about it was I really do love, like, I just vomited out my truth. Like I was like, I gotta stay in the game. I gotta tell her everything. Like I literally, there was no, you didn't, you know how like those chats are kind of truncated, they're shorter,
Right.
but they did a good job, I thought, of getting to the essence of most of our conversations.
Mm-hmm.
That one was legit what you saw. I literally was like, all right, here's the deal. We just got to lay our cards on the table. So here's everything about me, what I need to know about you. And when she did that spicy chat thing, I went, yeah, of course, of course. Because a spicy chat with Phil is exactly what I said on the show. You know, he'll text me, I unloaded the dishwasher. I'm like, whoa, come on, come upstairs. I'm in bed. Woo. Like that's spicy for us. Like Phil, I picked up chicken wings for you on the way home. He's like, oh my God, that's foreplay. You know, like that's what spicy chats are. And I'm like, oh God. And what you don't see is when I got up that morning, I took you probably noticed me flipping through my book constantly. I had acronyms and I was like flipping through the book going like, okay, bae, no, like what is like the terminology? What is it? And then the other thing you don't see me doing is at one point I'm like, peach, eggplant. I was like, banana? Like I was like, an eggplant, or I know an eggplant, isn't it a banana? And then I was like, cherries? And I was like, and I kept like, no apples, grapes. I was just trying to think of what, and it just started getting out of control. So by the time the chat came up, I was sweating. I was very uncomfortable. Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. And then we were trying to think about this, like what would happen if either you or Madeline had got eliminated that week. So would you have gone home, or who would have gone home in that situation?
So if Rachel had been voted out, I would have been stuck there as Madeline for the rest of the game.
Okay. That's what we thought was going to happen, which was kind of crazy.
Right. And all of that could have been funny, right? Like I thought about
Yeah.
this too. Can you imagine if I had to change, you know, with Jadeja and I had to flirt with Darian? I mean, I would have been like, hey, babe, I would have sent an eggplant by, like, same thing. Like, I just would have done all the wrong. It was, yeah.
Right.
So all the outcomes were funny. Like, if you thought about it, when I sat down, and actually when they said, you know, when that was over and I knew what was going to happen the next day, I was like, yeah, all of it's funny. Like every outcome, no matter what happens, is hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like one round, like I feel like you can do it, especially when both of you were there to kind of like exchange notes and help each other. But if like you had to do that for the whole rest of the game without her even being there, that would have been.
I would have outed myself. Like I probably would have been like, "Look, it's not me." And although you're not allowed, that was the thing. You know, they said we weren't allowed to do that, so they probably would have been like, "And by the way, Rachel, you know, you can't say that you're now mad." I'd be like, "Oh, it's so bad." So yeah, it was.
Wow.
What you don't see also, which is very funny, is Heather sent me back a picture, and it was, and the reason why they couldn't even use it because I literally was stunned into silence for about 10 minutes. Like I just think all it was a picture of Andy top, you know, like no shirt and wet and like, and so I sat there like this. I don't even think they could make anything funny of it because I just had no response. And when I finally had a response, I think I wrote back, circle message, that's hot. Like I didn't even come up with anything good. Like it was just like me going like, I'm done. That's it. This is over. And I think if Heather hadn't been Heather, probably would have realized like, this is weird. These are some weird, but Heather also was like, oh no, not right. So that made it Yeah, I think if that had been a real man, I'd have been like, wait, this isn't right. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, that was stunned me into silence because I was like, what do you say to that? And I was, and then you know, the poor producers were like, you got to send a message back. I'm like, I don't have one. I don't know what's appropriate here.
just
Like,
ghost him, yeah.
right, I want to kind of wipe him off. Like, go take a bath. Like what I wanted to write back, I was like, go take a bath. But I mean, no.
Yeah, that was so funny to watch. I'm sorry we didn't get to see that part of it, but now we got the backstories.
You got it.
We need an outtakes episode, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of crazy stuff that you guys are. Yeah, so there's some crazy stuff that I said and did, and so did everybody else that did not make the cut. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sadly, then we did see that Heather was voted last and was blocked, but then she met with Madeline and then Madeline made up a story about how Heather was saying that she was betrayed by Darian, or Andy was betrayed by Darian. And then at the next blocking, Madeline and Tiara plotted to get out Darian. So were you thinking that conversation that Madeline that just made up, like, was driving you to then want to get out Darian after that?
I just was on the bandwagon of I'm in an alliance. Like, and listen, the only alliance that I would remain true to was Rachana at the end of the day. But I was in this one. I'm like, yep, let's go. I'm on board. Like, I'm finally in somewhere where we're plotting and getting these people out. I just wanted to stay. Like the fact that I kept making it every day, I was like, cannot believe this. I can't believe this. Like, it's crazy.
So you believed that story that Madeline had told?
Yeah. You know, I wasn't sure. I mean, Madeline put that out there, and I remember being like, I don't even care. Like, to be honest, I didn't even care at that point. Like, I was just like, you want me to? Yep, okay, I'm in.
It's not me.
Yep, I was just happy to be part of the group. Like, you know, the kid on the, you know, I got picked last for gym class, and now all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I'm not last anymore. All right.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I don't know if you watch like Survivor or Big Brother, but there's a very famous Survivor 2-time winner who that is her strategy. Anyone but me. That was, you know, the famous strategy that she made, and that worked out well for her twice.
That was kind of how that's it. Let's go. I'm on board.
Yeah. Well, the following round, you and Madeline agreed to rank Garrett last, but then you had a pretty good conversation with Garrett when he interrupted your chat, and you decided to put him right in the middle at fourth. Still ended up going home, but then he came to meet you. Now, what went through your mind when he walked through that door, and did it make you regret where you ranked him at all?
Yeah. Well, you know, here's the thing. If I had ranked him higher, I don't think it would have mattered because at the end of the day, the influencers, but I get where he was coming from, that you told me you had to, like, the fact that he got so low, he knew I didn't put him up that high.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I didn't put him last, like, he was mad. He was like, basically, you lied right to me. I'm like, yes, I did.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad. What you don't see is we spoke for an hour and a half.
Oh, wow. So those
really
chats are long.
Really long. And Garrett is the most sweet soul. Yeah. Just told me what was going on in his life, and I just wanted to, like, you know, make him a potato kugel and give him some matzo ball soup and just be like,
in an hour and a half, you might have been able to. Yeah.
Like, I just want to say, sit and let me feed you, and let's just sit.
Yeah.
And let me give you a blanket, and we'll talk. I mean, what a good, sweet soul. Yeah. And so we talked for a while, and it was just very emotional. And I was like, yeah, you know, whatever you need, you know. But then he was so sweet, because what you catch, that was at the very end. He's like, wait a minute, I haven't asked you about your family. And at that point, I'm already so emotional. Oh. So it was really hard at that point to even, like, keep myself together to explain everything to him. So it was a very, I don't think that the producers expected that at all. Like, I think that is something that because they let us stay together for quite a while just to, like, you know, bring ourselves back to where we needed to be. Yeah, it was an, yeah, but he had every right to be mad. I mean, you know, it's a game, but when you're in the heat of the game, in the heat of the moment, of course you can be mad.
Yeah, okay. It feels personal in that moment.
But in the moment, you know, be mad, and then, you know, we're all fine after. It's all good.
So the next morning, you and Madeline got into a pretty major argument in the public chat. So can you explain a little bit about how that rift first started, and then how you were eventually able to mend things with her again?
So as I said, you know, I was trying to be like anyone but me. I'll be on everyone's side. But I was very moved by Garrett. Garrett's like, look out for Gianna and Madeline. And I was like, there's no way Gianna is going to rank me less than second. Maybe I won't always be number one, but I'm going to be one or two. And I believe that 100%. I was right, by the way. I watched. I was right. So I was like, Garrett we all got played by Madeline. So I started thinking so all my emotions and anger went towards Madeline. Mm-hmm. When at the end of the day, Garrett kind of got played by everybody, which look, I realize now he was right. Like Gianna included. I mean, he was right about Gianna playing him and was trying to warn me, but I was like, I'm good. So I let my emotion, shock. I just decided to just go and just blow everything up. I know you're so surprised by that, aren't you?
Well, I mean, look here. So in the penultimate episode, you won they had the It's Giving Awards, and you won the It's Giving Circle winner.
That was very strategic, and you know what? You know what kills me? Do you know that's the only time I actually yelled "fuck" during the entire it's the only time I literally yelled "fuck." As soon as I saw that, I was like, my game's done.
Yeah. So do you think that put a target on your back that was too big and ended up hurting your actual chances to win?
Yeah, I do. I think that even if people were thinking that's strategic, you're still like, what if it's not? What if people are like, she's gonna win, and then everyone has to put her low?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I was like, well, I actually thought I was going to be out when the super secret or whatever it is, secret super, I don't even know what they call it, influencer. I kept saying it wrong. They're like, Deb, it's secret super. When I was like, I don't care, just that influencer.
But I like the fact that it's super secret.
It's super secret. Super. And yeah, I thought for sure I was out. And you know that they knock on all our doors, you know, that whole thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think I believe I might have called the producer a rat bastard. Like I use that terminology too. I think I might have been like, you rat bastard. So every other time they always knocked on the door just to get like a light knock, just like you did one of these so that you would see us turn towards the door. This was a bang. This was a like, boom, boom. I'm like, and then immediately I was like, come at me, bro, whatever. And they're like, no, it's not you. And I was like, oh, I will kill you. Like I was mad. I was not happy. Not happy. I mean, I was happy that it wasn't me, but like I was kind of like, I'm not making it to the finale. So, and then even when I made it to the finale, I was like, I'm still not going to win.
Yes. Well,
I'm not surprised that I didn't win. How's that?
Yeah. Well, we're glad that you made it to the finale. But who were your final rankings there? We see like some of them, but not all of them. So we just love to hear more about your decisions there.
Gianna number one, and even when I thought strategically, maybe I really was like, I don't think I have any chance. And I had this alliance that the only reason, and I really did think about this, the only reason I made it all the way to the finale was Gianna. And I thought Gianna was going to become like the daughter I didn't have, kind of thing. I really
Who knew?
I knew. And I was like, I will not, like, it doesn't matter. Even if I thought there was a slight chance I could win, I would have put her number one. Like, it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. Everyone else, I mean, Kevin was easy because I still believed he was a 38-year-old asshole who was who was not a lifeguard, which, again, one of my proudest moments.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I was a lifeguard. I have shared pictures of me as a lifeguard with the circle group, and they're like, Deb, you were hot. I'm like, I know. Still am. And then it's funny. I went back and forth between Tiara and Madeline, like where to put them. I flipped them over. To be honest, I'm pretty sure I put Madeline second. I'm pretty sure I did. Okay. But I kept flipping them because I actually was trying to think about Gianna. Like, who would help more? And actually, I thought it would help to put Tiara. I was a little worried that Tiara might sneak in a little higher in some people's rankings. So that's, I think at the end, if I remember correctly, I finally was like, that's it, lock it in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did anyone's final placement, including your own, surprise you at the end?
Nah. I mean, again, Madeline didn't trust me, the play, like it all made sense. So, like after you watch the season, I was like, well, that all makes sense,
Yeah.
Yeah, it all made sense for me.
And were you surprised by any catfish that you saw at the finale, or were you expecting anyone?
Okay, first of all, you also have to, you didn't see a chat that I had with Tiara. You might have seen a small chat. They didn't show the part. We actually had a very in-depth chat where she is telling me about her daughter and how they do all these things to get, like, you see a little bit of it, but you don't. So I bought it. Tiara, real. Gianna, real. Kevin, catfish. And then I started to question that Madeline was a catfish because I felt like she was flipping around a lot. And I was like, and she was playing, I thought she was playing a really smart game. And I was like, ooh, she's an older person, like, who's watched and studied, like I was coming up with all these theories, again, when you're alone in the room and you just come up with, so coming out and seeing that Madeline and Kevin were real, I was like, oh no. Number one, I was like, Kevin, and I don't know if you see that, I literally go, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. I'm so sorry. That's number one. Tiara, shocking to me. Again, I was like, wait, who are you? And I did not expect that. And you see our responses. There was nobody that suspected Gianna. So I think I peed a little bit. I think I might have actually peed slightly at the no, that cannot be. Crazy. The screaming you hear from me is legit holy shit.
I think that was the best part of the finale, was just everyone's reaction, the finalists, eliminated players, everyone's reaction to seeing Nikki and JoJo. That was a great moment.
They couldn't have scripted that better. Couldn't have, even, I always think about how they must, when they get all the cast, they must have kind of we'd love to see these storylines. We know that these things could all veer off and things could, and so I'm sure when all of these things started happening and they're like, there's a chance that Gianna could, they must have been and nobody, and I'm sure none of us were questioning it. They were like, no matter what happens, Gianna's the last person coming out. Doesn't matter. Right. We got at this point, doesn't matter. That was really interesting. It's the same thing. I think about, Darian and Jadeja. They could not have that was legit. Watching it from our end now, after knowing what happened over the year and how they started dating and getting all the pictures of them, and we couldn't say anything, and kind of their love unfolding. I was like, to watch them literally fall in love at first sight at those pictures.
Oh,
it is chills. That was so sweet.
It's insane. And then it's so funny because I have all these pictures in our WhatsApp group, of them on Valentine's Day and on their vacations together, meeting each other's family, and we're all like, no, and then to watch it after knowing, it's really sweet.
Almost
they also
exactly
were
a year later.
We're married. Oh.
I know. Well, how about when she told her dad? She's like, I'm married with 6 kids. I was like, that's amazing. We didn't get this. I didn't know that. She said that. It's so cute. And I often think too, I can see how the producers probably, there could have been 2 great moments. Can you imagine them meeting at the finale? That would have been also some, but then we might not have gotten that really good kiss. We might have gotten a kiss, but not that really good one. I saw them kiss. I'm like, oh my God, they knew right then. Of course they knew.
Yeah.
So either way, I'm sure, like I said, I always envision the producers oh, we're veering over here. Okay, let's hope this happens. We're veering over here. Let's hope this happens. So yeah, they're so cute. Oh my God.
I know, that's amazing.
They are. They're so cute.
Well, so last night I posted on the Circle TV subreddit and told everyone that we were interviewing you today. So we got, and let me just tell you, I thought we were going to maybe get, a dozen or so questions. We're at 121 questions right now.
They're all like, what's wrong with you?
And they're still coming in. No, I have to say, almost every single one of them is positive. So I will say that. And so I just wanted to read some of these viewer fan questions. So we will start with Zlane-Mind the Oils. This is my favorite part of this, is reading these Reddit names. Reddit handles are amazing. How much of the day is spent chatting with the others? Is that really most of the day? And producers just show us the parts that would be most dramatic. Multiple parts to this question, but we'll start with that.
So actually, there's a lot of downtime. We filmed 12 to 15 hours a day. The chats did take longer than what they show. They would take sometimes up to an hour, depending on how you were trying to, I was trying to formulate my response, and then I'd be like, no, don't send that. So, it kind of took a little longer than what you would normally,
Yeah.
think. Yeah, no, we actually did. I read 7 books while I was there. I took a lot of naps. They only showed them, they had to wake me a lot. They were like, Rachel, we're going to be playing a game. So I'm like, what? Huh? I got to pee. So there was downtime. And this I did, which I have on my desk, which is hilarious. This is my latch hook that I did while I was there.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
My latch hook. So you are busy, but you'll be busy in the morning. You'll have a chat, it's an hour or so. And then they're like, okay, that was the group chat. You give your names of who you want to talk to, but sometimes there's like an hour and a half before it's your turn to do your chat. You never knew. Some days seem busier than others. And there were some days where I'm like, I think it's been like 2 hours. And then all of a sudden they're like, Rachel, someone wants to chat with you. I'm like,
Yeah.
It just depended. But yeah, there was downtime. Definitely. That's where you see me break the chair. When you see us doing things like that, often you're kind of starting to lose it a little bit. That's towards the end of the day. I remember when that happened, I was literally going around the apartment being like the fridge, hate the couch. I just was kind of taking inventory and realized that I had never sat in the chair. And now we know that I shouldn't have, but that's besides the point.
Okay, well, we got a couple of these types of questions. For example, Real Ruby 64 says, has you met up with the twins or anyone else since the finale? So who have you kept in touch with the most?
Everybody. We've all met up. We met up at the wrap party, which was really fun. We've all kept in touch all year. I've had a lot of private chats, actually, with, of all people, Antonio, and I think some of it is, he's the closest to my age, which is 20-something years younger than me. So I think that helped, to be honest, I had to ask a lot of social media questions and I was embarrassed in the group chat. So I wound up going to Antonio, which is, because I was like, I know he's not even remotely close to my age, but at least he won't make fun of me. He'd be like, oh, you're such a mom. No, I mean, they'd be like, you're such a mom. I know I am. I know. The twins, actually, what's funny is I'm going to have to work in New Jersey. And I told them that I'm coming in next month. And they're like, you got to come to the house. I got to meet their dad. Forget about them. Dying to meet their dad. I can't wait. So yes, I will be there. And everyone knows, we've all talked about, we joke around. We just were joking around about, how Jersey Shore family reunion. We're like, circle season 7, we got to rent a house and do a family reunion.
I would watch that. Tell me where and when to stream it. And
that's what we'd like to do. Yeah. I'm hoping that someone's got to be planning Jadasia's circle wedding. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Down for that, definitely.
Right? Oh, I lose my mind.
Twinkerbell asks,
that's a good one. I like that
one. What was your take on Madeline's deception and strategy after the things that came to light to the contestants during the finale?
Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, and they kind of edited it a little strange. I kind of thought it was funny when she's like, I made it up. I laughed, actually. I was like, that's funny. You have to remember, I was in a whole different headspace of everyone else too. And also I didn't get out what she did. So I will say this. I think everyone's reactions at that moment were in the moment and they were legit shocked and kind of like, what? And why me? And it's and I sit there that's funny. It's a game. But again, I was on the couch. Let's remember, maybe a little bit easier for me to say that because I was sitting next to her dun, 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 dun. I was like, brilliant. Brilliant. I can't believe I didn't think of doing that. But I do understand the other side of it. You got me out of the game on a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that hurt. And then, I could see people in the moment being hurt. And I think that's what you saw. What you saw was the immediate reaction to what everyone heard. And it was edited in a way that made it look like she just started crying on cue. She had been pounded with questions. Everyone be like, wait a minute. What about this? What about this? Was that and it was boom, boom. People were just throwing questions at her.
Oh, wow.
And it was very overwhelming. That was not anything fake. She was just overwhelmed. I don't think she expected the response. And again, I'm not putting blame on anybody. in that sense. I think everyone reacted in a real way at that moment.
Yeah.
Everyone, everyone's fine now. People have been like so ridiculous, in comments.
Yeah.
But we all really, really like each other. We all went out to dinner after that was filmed and had a great time.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So, but I really want people to know, like, she was actually really upset. Yeah. And there were just all these questions. Like, think about it. Everyone's like, wait a minute, was this alive? Was that? And everyone just, and I'm sitting there like, oh no, what's happening? The very mom thing in me. I was like, everyone, let's stop now. You do see a little bit of me be like, it's a game. It's a game. Like, you see a little bit of me trying to be like, all right, everyone.
It's a good reminder sometimes when things start to get heated.
And again, looking at it, you can understand people really not expecting that was going to happen.
Right.
So
yeah.
So everyone's great. So
yes.
Don't worry, everyone's fine. We're all going to go to the wedding, okay?
All right. Well, our last Reddit question here: if you had to this comes from Purple It 11. If you had to catfish as any player from this season, who would you choose? And if somebody catfished as you, what would you want them to know most?
Okay, so let's see. From this season, who would I want to?
Let's say any season.
Oh, any season?
Yeah, do both. One of each.
Okay, so for my own season, let me think about this. Oh, that's hard. That's actually a really good question. I think it would be, I already catfished as Madeline. Wouldn't want to do that again.
Once was enough.
It'd be fun to be Jadeja and like be wooed. Like, again, I've been married for 29 years and they were so sweet and they like, oh, so, like, wow, he was so sweet and romantic and, not that my husband's not that Philo's not. I mean, Philo is, but, we've been married a long time. Like, to relive that would be really sweet. And then I'd feel bad because can you imagine if I came out as Jadeja? Oh my God, Darian would literally have just lost it. Yeah, that would be a lot of counseling for him. That would be a lot of counseling. Any other season? Ooh. You know who I'm obsessed with right now? Chris from season 1.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
Obsessed.
He's fun. That would be a very fun one to play as.
That one would be fun. That would definitely be fun. And then what would I want people to know about me? So if you went in as 54-year-old Deb, I think that I really am legitimately always trying to live my life as joyfully as I can. Life is going to throw you horrible, horrible things. And the only way, you have to choose your response in a sense. So what you see is what you get. Like, majority of the time will choose to be joyful and to bring joy to others when I can. So I would hope that they would take that and like understand that I'm not that I'm not going to be that bitch or anything, but, and I'm going to play the game. Trust me, you can't take advantage of me. Like, as my husband knows, there's no such thing as non-returnable. There's no such thing as, you can't get your money back. Yes, I can always get my money back. But at the same time, and ultimately, are we bringing joy to ourselves and to others as best we can?
Yeah.
That's I think, the most important thing. Yeah.
So what has the real Rachel thought about how you played her since she watched the show back?
She's just like, that's not at all what I would have been like. Because I was basically me. I mean, that's what's funny. She's like, she cracked up when I did the 3 things I couldn't live without. She's like, mine would have been sleep. What would she say? She said it was sleep. She was pets. And then what was the third? She's like, you got it all wrong, Deb. I'm like, I know, I had to answer as me. It got to the point where I was like, I couldn't do it anymore. So she thinks the whole thing is hilarious. She loves it. She came to the wrap party. We got pictures of her. Yeah. We had the real Tiara there, the real Gianna, and the real Rachel. It was really fun to get pictures of them. So that was really fun.
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
That was great to see everyone together in the catfishes and non-catfishes world. But also, we'd love to hear if you would ever play again in an all-star season potentially.
I always say, as long as I don't have to move, like, sure, like, move around. People like, would you do another show? I'm like, well, like, what? Naked and afraid? Ew, no.
Would love to see you on Big Brother.
I mean, anything where I could basically hang out, maybe do a little activity. Like, can you imagine me on the Amazing Race? I'd be like, wait, like, that's a long walk. Like, that's too many stairs. Like, I just would be, you know, I don't cook. Imagine me trying to bake. Like, I guess I could do worse cook in America. I mean, I could, but I don't like to cook. I won't even want to be the worst because I don't even want to cook. Like, I just no.
I
So
don't know if you're.
yeah.
I don't know if you're at all aware of Big Brother this season, but a lot of fans are saying that you
Sister
and
from
Angela.
another mister. Do you know what people keep saying? People have said they want to see me and Angela do a road
Yes.
trip.
I would. I don't care how much it costs to watch
Could
that.
you
I would pay.
imagine me and Angela? First of all, the car would have to be like 50 degrees. We would be snapping at each other, be like, "Shut up!" And then we'd be like, "Oh no, I love you." Like we're so, you know, the menopause rage.
Yeah.
And then we'd feed off of each other, and then can you imagine two of us be like, "Wait, seriously?" Oh, like we'd just be like, "You're so," and then we'd be like, "Oh, I love you. You're so cute." Like it would be the most insane, and then we'd feed off of each other.
Oh
I think
my
it'd be
gosh.
hilarious.
I need to see that.
Yeah.
Right? Road trip with Deb and Angela.
Mhm.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
insanity level.
Sign me up.
That
I
would be
know.
amazing.
Menopausal women are having a moment. What can I say?
Yes. Well, maybe we can see that on some sort of social media. Then, if we can't get it a show, we need some content.
Yeah, we need
there.
a meetup. We just need a
Yeah,
meetup.
I know. You know what? We need to meet up big time. So I'm looking forward to
she's
that.
out
I
of that
gotta
house,
just be like, look at us showing what women in our 50s can do. That's right. Don't mess with us. We're ratings gold, baby. Ratings gold.
Exactly. Well, where can our listeners find you on social media if we still want to keep up with your day-to-day life?
So wait, hang on. Don't make fun of me. I always have to double check it. You know that I didn't know how many when we went out to dinner after the show. Everyone's like, "How many followers do you have?" I was like, "Where do I find that?" And when I went on Instagram, I'm like, "I have 250 followers." They were like, "Deb, who are you?" I was like, "I don't know." All right, I'm
Well,
on
you can ask us for any social media help if you want any.
That's it. On Insta, I always have to double check it. It's Debbie Levy 2, but I'm always afraid. Yeah. So you want me to put it? Do you have a chat?
Debbie Levy too.
Yeah, we'll write it in our.
Yeah,
description.
we'll post
Debbie Levy
it.
2,
We'll
and
tag
then
you.
wait, what's my TikTok? TikTok is where you'll see all of my stuff I was telling you about, all the weird videos. You'll also see me sing. Sorry, you'll also see me singing the Greek alphabet. That's beside the point. Debbie 3 Boys 412.
Okay. We will tag you. We will tell everyone where to find you.
I don't remember these things. So I was like, what's my
It's
name?
hard when they're all different. You got to sync them all up, make them all the handles the same so that you remember it. That's what I learned. Deb, thank you so much. We loved having you on. This was so much
You
fun.
guys are so cute. You know what? I want to go put you. I want to go. You guys are just so yummy. That's like I told Brandon that I wanted to mush him down and carry him around in my pocket.
Oh, I
When
love
I met him,
Brandon.
I was like, I need to carry you around with me. Like, I just want to have you like on my keychain, and I'd be like, "Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you're so cute." You guys are adorbs. Oh, it's fun. Anytime you want me, me and Angela, we'll come on together. There you go.
Perfect. Yes.
that.
Very
That's it.
excited
Date
for
with
that.
me and Angela.
Well, thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to follow us at Let's Chat Reality on social media and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And we will chat with you all again soon. Bye, everyone.